Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For this morning, I would like to discuss supercapacitor. Supercapacitor. This is just like similar to the so-called electrolytic capacitor. Okay, would like to discuss the characteristic of the supercapacitor. The voltage of the supercapacitor, the one I'm handling now, right now, is 2.7 volts and 500 farads. That's a very big one. If we try to compare this supercapacitor with this electrolytic capacitor, okay, I will try to read the specification. This is 200 volts and 1000 microfarad. This 1000 microfarad is actually very small compared to this supercapacitor, which is 500 farads. If we try to take the ratio of this 500 farads over 1000 microfarad, this supercapacitor is actually 500,000 more powerful than this one. Because if we try to convert this 1000 microfarad into farad, it's just 0.001 farad. And this is 500 farad. Okay? So this is more powerful than the ordinary electrolytic capacitor. But the uses of each are actually different. They are similar in some other applications, but for the electrolytic capacitor, okay, I inserted electrolytic capacitor already as a topic. The number one use of this one is actually in the so-called helping out in the elimination of the so-called pulsations in the so-called rectification process. In the rectification of alternating current to direct current. This is the one we use on the secondary side to smoothen out the direct current output, okay, going to our equipment. The number one use of a supercapacitor, okay, is actually in the so-called soldering soldering. Soldering, specifically metal plates to metal plates. Okay, if you got a metal plate and another metal plate, and if you want to connect this one, the best option that we will be having is by using what they call this a supercapacitor. We charge this one, okay, we connect the positive and negative terminals. Okay, the negative is connected to ground. The positive terminal, we got a cord and we got a pointed thing like this, which we will poke to the one we would like to connect. So it's just like the so-called welding process, you know. So to connect a metal plate to metal plate, the best option that we will be using is by using what they call the supercapacitor. You just charge this one, okay, then connect the negative terminal to ground and the positive terminal to is a cord with a pointed thing like this. And this the pointed thing that will be the so-called point of the uh, it's just a soldering gun point, okay. That's the number one application of the supercapacitor. Just be careful with this one because if this is charged, okay, it got so much power inside. It got a 500 farad. It could store so much energy inside. Okay? That's why the main application of this is actually on the application using what you call this supply of burst of power, ASAP burst of power, the immediate supply of high power to melt those metal things to connect it. Okay, because if you use the electrolytic capacitor, it will not work because it does not contain the power needed, okay, to melt the two metals to connect it. And the only way we connect the two metals is by using a so-called supercapacitor. Because once this is charged, okay, it got so much power inside. That's why supercapacitor is actually very dangerous. If they are charged, okay, don't ever try touching the terminals by your bare hands like this. You'll get electrocuted or you'll get burned. Okay? So, for a supercapacitor to be not dangerous when you are not using it, okay, try to shorten out the terminals by using a, what they call this, screwdriver. Of course, when you shorten out, it will spark, meaning you're killing the charge inside. So once the charge inside is gone, you could touch it and nothing will happen to you. But I am repeating it, the number one use of a supercapacitor, since what they call this, it stores so much energy when it is charged, it is actually in the so-called connection of two metal plates. Okay? So this is most especially used when you are connecting batteries, okay, in parallel, meaning if you are connecting all the positive terminals by one metal plate and you are connecting the negative terminals by another metal plate, the base application or base, what do you call this, the base apparatus that you will be using is by using a supercapacitor to connect the positive terminals to the metal plates and the negative terminals to the other plate. Okay? Because if you are using the ordinary soldering gun, okay, it might not connect the metal plate to the battery terminals, battery positive terminals and battery negative terminals. So the best thing to use is actually by using the supercapacitor. Okay? Okay, that's it, guys. I think I have now discussed the number one application of a supercapacitor. Okay? This is for connecting metal plate to metal plate. An example of this is connecting a metal plate to the positive terminal of a battery which you would like to connect it. Because by using the ordinary soldering gun, you might connect it, but what they call this, the connection will not be so good. But if you are using a supercapacitor to connect the terminal to the metal plate, rest assured that the connection is actually very good. I think that's it, guys. This is Professor David J. De Los Reyes. At least I have discussed for this morning the application of a supercapacitor. Good morning from Los Angeles. This is Professor David J. De Los Reyes.